Today, the Tata Steel board is split right down the middle on Cyrus Mistry continuing as the chairman of the company. Sources say that 3 independent directors have scuttled a move by another independent director, Mistry, to bring a resolution supporting Cyrus Mistry. Arun Giri, who's been on top of that story, now joins in with this latest exclusive news break. Arun, this is important because this is the 3rd big board meeting taking place after Cyrus Mistry's ouster, and for the first time, independent directors are actually divided down the middle as far as what to do with Cyrus Mistry. Tell us more.
Ron, in fact, at Tata Steel, there did not seem to be a division down the middle. In fact, from what we learned, Mr. Wadia was in a way isolated, and 3 independent directors took a very firm view that they would not back a resolution proposed by Mr. Nasli Wadia to support Mr. Cyrus Mistry. In fact, one of the directors told very strongly, asserted himself and told Mr. Wadia that in our opinion, by passing such a resolution, we are putting the future of the company at stake. We are concerned about shareholder value of every stakeholder, and taking on the promoter is not in the long-term interest of the company, Tata Steel. He further added that by passing such a resolution and openly being confrontational with the promoter, we would be destroying shareholder value. We are told the meeting was quite tense, that there was a fierce debate, and finally Mr. Wadia had no option but to back off and drop the resolution. Which is why, if you see after the board meeting, after the results were out, the press release issued by Tata Steel, you did not see a statement like the one put out after the Tata Chemicals or the Indian Hotels board meeting chaired by the independent directors meetings were chaired there by Mr. Deepak Parekh at Indian Hotels and Mr. Nusli Wadia here at Tata Steel. But this move by the 3 independent directors not to support Mr. Wadia, I think is a big shot in the arm for the Tatas, because this morning, as we broke the news first, we reported that the Tata Sons was going to bring a resolution, which they have, to remove Mr. Wadia from the directorship of the companies where he is on the board.
But there were other independent directors on the board of Tata Steel who still support Cyrus Mistry. Isn't that correct, Arun?
I would presume that the majority of the Tata Steel board I think it's very unfair to divide a board between independent directors and other directors. I think Mr. Bhaskar Bhatt pointed it out in an exclusive interview to Shireen earlier today, that you have to look at the board as a whole. You can't divide the board into executive board, a non-executive board, an independent board, and other board. There is a board, and if you look at the board of Tata Steel, very clearly, I think a majority probably goes with the promoter.
Any word then, Arun? What can we expect? Tata Motors board meeting, big board meeting taking place on Monday. Any expectations from that?
You never know. I think the equations are changing every minute. I think many independent directors, many directors, generally executive, non-executive, are making up their minds. But it's very clear now that the turf is going to move to the shareholders' court. You're going to go to the extraordinary general body meeting of several of these Tata Group companies, where Mr. Mistry is on the board, and Mr. Wadia is on the board, and Tata Sons, they have surely moved in, and they have now laid their cards on the table that they want Mr. Mistry and Mr. Wadia out.
Right, absolutely. That becomes abundantly clear. Arun, thanks very much. In fact, I also spoke with a senior source in Tatas, that person telling me that the board members are now beginning to look at the bigger picture, looking at the future, that this was, after all, an orchestrated move, and this puts these individual group companies in direct confrontation with the promoter, that is Tata Sons, which will eventually jeopardize shareholder value. These are, again, source-based information, not on record, but source-based, coming in from the Tata side. We are here to hear